Well, good afternoon, evening, or morning, depending on which time you're watching this. This is Mark and Paulette.
Depending on where you live.
Exactly, with the two travelers in Mexico. And today we're going to talk about some of the places that we have visited in the past. We're going to be talking about Queretaro, Aguascalientes, Huatulco, and Oaxaca City. Now, I will put some indexes in the description of the video if you just want to skip around and not watch some and watch the others. So we are going to start with Querétaro. Now, Querétaro is a beautiful city. Walking around, as Paulette mentioned in the past, it's very flat.
Yeah.
And what was the elevation there?
5,900.
Paulette has a little cheat sheet that she needed to check.
5,900, and the population is about a million.
About a million people. The climate is really nice.
It is.
High 80 or probably mid 80s year round. And in the nights, in the colder months, it gets down into the about mid to upper 40s.
The thing is that when you live more centrally in Mexico, central Mexico, you don't really have to worry about, the air conditioning or the heat. Not that there is any central
air
conditioning or heat, but I'm just saying the weather condition pretty much permits for pretty good weather all year long. I mean, it might get cold, might get down maybe to the 40s, but just bundle up or get in a electric blanket, something like that. But it's very nice. That was one of my favorite places that I wanted to move to when we first came here.
Yeah, and it is a beautiful city. Just walking around on the streets, taking in all of the old architecture, all of the old buildings. Even as you start to get out from the center part of Querétaro, it's still amazing with the different churches, the way the people have maintained and painted the buildings, and that the more centralized you get, the more you'll run into the street vendors selling food or children's toys or things like that. The restaurants there were really good too.
Yeah, a lot of coffee shops, restaurants, things like that we found. But usually when we go to a different area, we usually go to the central historical. That's what we really try to focus on for us. So we don't go on the outskirts or anything like that. If you want to know information on that we don't have. But whenever we go travel, it's to the central historical areas. So that's what we're giving you information on.
Now I will say that Querétaro, I think the population there is about 1 million people, maybe a little bit more, but it's also it's a professional city. I think on average people are there a little bit younger than some of the other places we visited.
Well, I don't think that it's known as a expat haven.
No.
It's just not. Not yet anyhow. Maybe in the future, I don't know. But I would not consider it an expat haven by any means.
Yeah. So the first time Paulette and I came to Querétaro, we stayed in a hotel on this street. It's the street that leads up to Jardín Zinnia. And the hotel that we stayed at is coming up on the right hand side. And there it is right there. It's pretty cool on the inside. Right here is where we met the Connecticutans and spent a couple hours with them. About 3 hours hanging out, yeah. Next up, we are going to talk about Huatulco. Huatulco, for those people that felt the need to correct me. Huatulco is a city on the western shore of Mexico. It's a nice place too, very expat friendly. i.e. expat destination for
It's
people to live.
definitely an expat haven.
Yeah. As Paulette said once, there's two temperatures, hot and hotter. I looked up online, it said the average throughout the year is about 80 degrees, but you need to take into account the humidity too, which makes it seem much hotter.
And there's lots of beaches. There's like 36 beaches.
Yeah, yeah.
So with the beaches, you always get the humidity.
And the population was about 50,000?
Yeah, about 50,000.
Yeah, and a lot of those are expats from the United States, from Canada. That seems to be a pretty popular place. I know we enjoyed our time there, aside from the heat. We found it to be, a small town, really. It had that small town feel.
Yeah, definitely a small town. If you're good with that, then I think that'd be a good place. If you want a soft landing with expats, I think that would be a good place.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of things to do outside of Huatulco, different tours and stuff. It's outside of Huatulco, it gets kind of almost like more jungly, tropical.
And it's about, it's about a 7-hour drive to Oaxaca City.
Right.
From Huatulco.
Right, on Windy Road. Which brings us to our next city that we're going to talk about. Oaxaca. So you looked online and you found that, what was the population of Oaxaca City?
Oaxaca City was about 700,000. Oaxaca City was about 700,000.
Again, we stayed in the central historical area, walked around there. The central historical was pretty good size, a lot of, old architecture, old churches, old buildings, but still well maintained, and really a beautiful city to walk around in. And if you're in the city, be sure to check out Mercado 20 de Noviembre. It's a huge market. We went into the food section, was one of the areas that we went into, and there seemed to be like 100 different moles that you could buy, or the ingredients to moles that you can buy. The food was really good too. We certainly enjoyed our stay there.
I would say it's pretty easy walking. You can, go up some hills, but for the most part, it's centrally located as far as good, easy walking to get around to different places in Oaxaca City.
Right. And there are some places close by that are pretty cool. Some of the areas specialize in, say, black clay. Some of them specialize in mezcal making, and we visited a couple of those areas. All very interesting.
In Oaxaca City, in the central area by historical, there is a lot of vendors. A lot of restaurants, right?
Yeah. And maybe one of the annoying things is that the vendors would actually come into the restaurants where you're eating and try to sell you things, and that was a little bit distracting. And I understand they're trying to make a living, and we did buy some small things from some vendors, but that's the reality of the outdoor dining experience in Oaxaca, is that you will get vendors coming by selling you things.
I would say that in Oaxaca City, when we were there, you got a lot more people asking for money in the central historical area than we experienced in Queretaro.
Yeah.
And other places that we have traveled to.
Yeah.
Oaxaca City, Huatulco, we did not see really any begging either.
No.
I didn't.
No.
For money.
No.
But in Oaxaca City, we saw that a lot.
Which brings us to our next city, Aguascalientes.
Yeah. Now that was a place that I told Mark that if we had checked that place out before, I might have considered moving there. I really liked it a lot. It had a big, like, pedestrian area, huge pedestrian, I don't know, street, I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah, one of the areas was almost like a huge plaza outside of the bullfighting ring where they would have festivals and stuff like that.
I don't know whether they still do that there once in a while, do bullfighting.
Yeah, I don't know. The Centro Historical was also, again, nice and flat. Aguascalientes elevation, that was like 6,200
I
feet.
believe.
Right, with a population of 900,000?
I think about 900,000. Yeah, it was getting close to like a mill.
Yeah. And we found the walking around there very easy, especially in the Centro Historical. A lot of things to see. Again, the architecture is always a favorite of mine, and really any city we go to check out. There were some museums there, and also typical of Mexico. There were a lot of older churches there that had been well maintained.
I really liked the historical area
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
in Aguascalientes.
yeah.
I really thought it was cool. I think it's definitely worth checking out. A lot of shops, a lot of restaurants, coffee places, coffee shops. I liked the historical. I thought it was pretty cool. Part of it too, when we were walking around, reminded me to me, if you guys ever been to like Venice Beach or whatever, it just like by Southern California, it was just kind of like I don't know, kind of that feel for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe
For
that.
me, I thought it was almost like almost like a carnival type of feel.
I don't know where he gets the carnival type feel.
Well, carnival, Venice Beach type feel. People doing things, juggling things, selling things, clowns, stuff like that. The interesting thing about Aguascalientes is one day we went out for breakfast and we couldn't find any restaurants that opened up before like 9:30 or 10 o'clock. So
I think it was even later than that.
If you're looking for breakfast early in Aguascalientes, you might be in for a long wait.
Right, maybe get it at your hotel.
Yeah.
Stay at a hotel that has breakfast included.
Yeah.
So we just wanted, like I said, to just give our perspective on a couple of places that we visited. Oaxaca City is very much focused on tourism there. Huatulco is more of an expat haven. Aguascalientes, I think, is pretty much off the chart as far as being like a expat haven. It's not.
Yeah.
Queretaro is not an expat haven either.
Right.
If you like we were saying, if you want to make a soft landing, I would think probably Huatulco would be your best bet.
Of the four places that we talked about in this video.
Right.
Honestly, I think though Queretaro, it will be, I believe, like a hot spot for expats.
Probably.
In the future, it's got pretty much everything in place for that.
It's got a lot going for it. It really does. It's a wonderful place.
Yeah.
If you haven't been there, I would say definitely visit it.
Yeah. I know a couple of our subscribers live there. Jonathan lives there. And I believe there's a couple others too. So.
And in Queretaro, that's where the Tangerine Travels live.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Whom we actually met in Oaxaca.
Yeah.
When we were
there in January.
Yeah. So.
So if you guys like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find us also on Facebook, Two Travelers in Mexico. And
However, if you want to join our Facebook group, you do have to agree to the rules.
right, there's only a couple of rules, so please say
basically.
yes that you'll agree. Otherwise, I'll just kind of keep you pending, and so will some of my moderators. So if you do subscribe, just be sure to answer yes to the questions, like no self-advertising kind of stuff, no Bitcoin, stuff like that, play nicely with others.
And we do encourage people to post things there too, but with the requirement that they be about Mexico.
Right.
So, and we have some other YouTubers on there that post videos, things like that. So,
And as always, from the Two Travelers in Mexico,
what she did.
bye guys.
Bye.